So, turn 1 is the Allies move first. So I shall show you what they've done. The 95th have advanced all the way across their line. The 2 infantry lines behind have advanced as far as they can advance in one move, so they are moving up. The artillery have opened fire because the voltigeurs are within range. Easily within range, they can hit the entire length of the voltigieur skirmish line, so they are going to take some punishment from the opening artillery barrage, and the 95th are advancing to meet them, and of course as they have rifles they will be able to hit the French before the French can hit them back, so that is their plan, to advance rapidly up and hit them with some fire as well to start taking some casualties amongst the French. On the right of the line, the Hussars have retreated back just behind, or in line with, the Brunswickers, who have moved over to join up with them, to link up with them, to give them some support. And the 28th, with the yellow flag in front of the Brunswickers, have shifted to their right to meet up with the artillery in the centre, so they're lengthening their line, which also means that the Brunswickers can cover fire on the far left of the Allied flank. So that is the Allied turn. Now for the French. The artillery opened fire on each line of skirmishers and scored, because there's 4 guns on each side, each scored 1 hit. However, this is on a D10, anything above 6 is a hit. So, however, as they're firing at skirmishers, you have to halve the dice, so you can't halve a 1, so that means that the artillery on both sides fired at skirmishers and caused no damage whatsoever. So, pretty poor shooting, but not to be unexpected when you're firing at a line of skirmishers. So that's what happened there. No one else is in range. The French, by the way, as this is turn 1, I shall just take you along. The infantry behind the artillery have not moved because they were waiting for the artillery to fire. Down the other end, both units of cavalry have advanced their full movement quota, which is 16. 18 centimetres, because they are cavalry, normal cavalry. If they were light cavalry, they'd be able to advance further. They'd be able to advance 24, but these are cavalry and heavy cavalry, so they've moved 18 centimetres. All 3 of the infantry columns have also advanced their full 8 centimetres, heading towards the British lines. So, and the voltigeurs have also advanced, so they are now getting up close and personal with the 75th. So we shall now move on to turn 2, as that was the only firing. Nobody was in range apart from the artillery, and it was a very pitiful show for an opening barrage. Now for turn 2. The Hussars have moved behind the 2 rows of line infantry, who have both advanced forward. The 75th have also advanced. They are now well within a rifle range of the voltigeurs coming their way. The artillery stay static and fire. The infantry on the Allied left flank have again shifted over, with the guys in red moving up to abut the artillery, so forming a solid line there, whereas the Brunswickers at the back have again moved over to join up with the Hussars, who have also moved slightly over to the far left, right at the edge of the table, to lengthen the Allied line. As for the French, the artillery stay where they are and fire. The line infantry behind the artillery have shifted position and are starting to move from behind the artillery. The voltigeurs have moved forward to get up closer to the 75th, who they outnumber slightly. The two columns in the centre have shifted forward again, avoiding the wood, as has the final column has moved, but is now slightly behind the other two columns in their advance on the other side of the wood, which has proven to be a little bit of an obstacle, may prove important. And both lines of cavalry have shifted as far as they can go in front of the wood, and they are now just about within range of the Hussars. And in fact, there's going to be a lot more firing this turn, but next turn there will be a lot more firing as everybody gets in closer quarters. Okay, so the Allied artillery fire first, and the artillery is still out of range because they haven't moved. The voltigeurs are in range, but now all four guns can hit one of the centre columns, so they're going to have to go at the centre column. So they get 4 throws with no modifiers. Anything over a 6 is a hit, and that's 2 hits already. 2 hits, so that means we lose 2 troops. Which is not bad. Now, for the French artillery, they can hit all of the British on the British right. Then 4 throws, anything over 6, so that's 1, 2, 3. So better shooting from the French. Now for the 95th. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 6, so that's 4 dice, and they are going to try and hit the voltigeurs. So as that's attacking the skirmish line, that means however many hits we get, we have to divide by 2. So that's 1 hit, 2 hits, so the French take 1 loss. So 1 dead voltigeur. And the musket fire is the same. The French have 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 dice are in range, and again that's 1 hit, 2 hits, so we lose 1 of the 95th. No one is within musket range, so that is the end of turn 2. So we have lost 3 line infantry and one of the 95th from the Allied force, and the French have lost 2 line infantry and 1 voltigeur. So, although it's very early, the French are having the better of it at the moment. 3. The Hussars have continued their move around the back of the 2 line infantry units, who have remained stationary. The British artillery fire again, and the line infantry at the back, the first rank stays stationary, whereas the Brunswickers have marched up right behind them, and the Hussars are staying steady, ready to charge. The French cavalry have marched right up to the edge of the woods, past the edge of the woods, and now are also ready to charge, supported by the infantry column behind them. The 2 infantry columns in the centre have also marched up right behind the voltigeurs, who are exchanging fire still with the 95th, and the column behind the artillery is now about to move to the left flank of the artillery. Range of gunfire has led to 1 skirmisher from each side becoming a casualty, and from the artillery assaults on the infantry, they've both lost 3 casualties each, so that means altogether that's 6 line infantry and 2 skirmishers for the Allies, and 5 line infantry and 2 skirmishers for the 4. The Allies have tired of the skirmishing going on the right flank here, so they've moved the 75th behind the oncoming 2 regiments here, so they're pushing right up, and they're about to give a shattering volley to get rid of these voltigeurs here in front of them. And the Hussars have come out from just about from round the back, and they are looking towards hitting this unit that is coming out from behind the artillery. Over at the far side, the voltigeurs are still skirmishing with the 95th there, and the 2 columns behind are just waiting for the 95th to be scared off before they burst through, so they're going to have 1 more blast of voltigeur musketry before they have had enough and burst through. The 2 regiments or battalions at the back here are moving forward again. They've formed a slight dogleg formation, and I shall just take the camera over there to show you the action on that side of the field. The French column is just skirting around the edge of the wood, being blocked by the cavalry, who were charged by the Hussars. The Hussars have smashed into both cavalry units, and the Brunswickers have moved up, and so have the 28th, as I mentioned, forming a dogleg so they can rake the oncoming cavalry and that column coming out of the woods as soon as they emerge. So there's going to be a very interesting action in this side. Just looking along the line from this angle for a change. Now, my friend James made a very good point this evening that it's a very narrow field, which of course it is, so maybe next time I should start from right at the edge of the battlefield, just to give a bit more manoeuvrability. And a very good point indeed, and you can see that the troops are starting to use more of the field now, so they can manoeuvre. The Hussars particularly are sweeping round on that flank, and the French column is also heading in that direction as well. So yes, there is some manoeuvrability going on. It wasn't so apparent at the start of the battle, but it is happening now. Sorry I'm yawning, but it's about 2 o'clock in the morning now. Okay, and I shall show you what the results of the firing were this turn. So again, honours fairly, well, totally even. We've lost 2 more of the 95th to firing from the volunteers because they are outnumbered where they are, and we've lost 2 more, actually 2 more line infantry to the artillery, whereas the French have lost 3 line infantry to the British artillery and 1 skirmisher. So again, still fairly even, and if we add them all together, then it's even. With infantry, line infantry, we have 8 casualties, and 3 volunteers have been lost for the French and 4 of the 75th for the Allies. So still fairly even, but this cavalry combat is going to start very rapidly adding to the casualty list here. So that was turn 4.